Hello, all you dragons, dinos, demons, weebs, and of course, portal masters. I am Speed Fury, and today we are doing a review on Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Deluxe Blackarachnia. This is technically the first toy of Blackarachnia that's the original Blackarachnia that I've ever obtained. But first off, let's take a look at the box. One second, let me move this out of the way. So we've got some nice artwork. Her eyes are red here, but they're actually black on the toy. I'll show you that when I get the transformation. We have some very, very creepy artwork of the spider right here. But I'm not complaining. We got the Nemesis back there as well. I think that's the Nemesis. Maybe. We got a few of the other Predacons in the back right there. Waspinator, Scorponok, and Dinobot. I always forget his name for some reason. Oh! On the back, we've got both modes. We have the spider mode, and then we have the we got the robot mode right there. There's not really much else that this gave me access to. At least I don't think. I might have forgotten something because this has been a long time since I actually bought this. I actually promised to uploading this about a month ago, saying that I would get it uploaded soon. Yeah, that soon ended up being a month later, so there's not much I can actually remember about this. Let's skip this forward again. So, let's talk about the figure itself. So, this figure is really impressive, in my opinion. The legs aren't like a goldish color like they were in the original, but that doesn't really bother me since they were going for the whole realistic look for the animal Transformers now. The legs are movable. They're on a ball joint, so they can easily move around in any direction you want. I, for one, like to keep them just down like this to give it more of that spider look to it. I scared the heck out of my sister-in-law with this. It was hilarious. We got the nice detail on the face of the spider. Kind of creepy looking, but I don't mind. I'm not afraid of spiders. For those of you who are, this probably isn't a good idea to be watching this. We have the abdomen. I kind of wish this was an hourglass thing, but that's just me being nitpicky. Other than that, I love the figure. I'm not that bothered by this. The abdomen itself, I'm actually impressed that they actually made it look like an actual Black Widow's abdomen. Like, when I transform this, I'll show you what the abdomen's actually made of. The underside, you can actually put her weapon in there. I left her weapon downstairs, so it's not going to be in this video, but it's like a crossbow thing. I think, yeah, it's right. She's holding it in the picture right here, just right there. She does have a little bit of kibble underneath, but that's not too big of a deal. The overall toy is amazing. There is a part that breaks quite often with a lot of the reviews I've seen of this. It almost breaks on every single review, but it's not that big of a deal to worry about, considering that it's not really an important piece that messes with the transformation. I don't think the little way that was put together is really necessary, because I think it still just transforms fine, even if it's broken. So, without further ado, let's get on to the transformation. So, the first thing you want to do, you want to come under here, pull out the arms. Yes, these are her arms. And lift them up like this. Then you want to get the legs and pull them to the side. Pull them a little bit so they're arched in more of a flat stance. You can also move the spider legs to any position you want. I myself am going to just kind of like push them in a little bit like this, so they're not in the way anymore. Then we pull them apart. And be warned, I have heard that this part right here of her claws do break quite easily, so you have to be careful with that. Then we just pull these. Let's see, how do I do this again? Oh wait, I gotta actually do something else first. So you actually want to grab right here. You want to be careful with this part, and hold on to the spider head, and then gently and also do a little wiggling, and pull it out just like that. Then your thing will start spinning like that. You spin the entire rest of the body around, and then you pull. Then that's when you want to pull out the arms, and then just clip it in. And I think you can already see what that becomes. Also, spin the arms around because they're backwards. My cat just woke up. Alright, and there's like most of the upper body right there. Now, here's what's cool about the abdomen. The abdomen is like pretty much 90% of the legs, and then the rest of it goes on her back. So to get the legs out, what you have to do is you have to pull this to the side, and then pull the other one to the side. So these are like the kneecaps right here. These two things right there. Then you simply just rotate this, and this is going to be a little bit tricky because, unfortunately, and this is where you want to be careful too. You don't want to have to, you know, force anything. Forcing is never good. Also, this is like a little fun feature they added for like when the leg gets put back in. You just push this. You can see like there's like a little gap right there. You can't see it very well on camera, but you can actually push this a little bit in so that it kind of closes up on that gap a little bit, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So now you just pull the leg up, and there's one of her legs. Also, this is like this when it's in robot mode, but then you just pull it like that when it's not. And then let's do this one. Same process. And don't forget to mess with the legs a little bit, so they're not, you know, not looking weird. And now what we do next is we come back here, we pull this out, and you can see this piece right here. This is the piece I'm talking about that's broken. There's a little tab in there. You can see it right there. It's barely visible, but mine's broken, but it's not a big deal. The rest of it is actually in the rest of her chest right there. You can see that little yellow piece. That's where it broke off. But all you got to do is just push this down, and it's really not that big of a deal if this breaks. It's barely noticeable, and it's not really that much of a problem. It doesn't get in the way of the transformation or anything like that. It's perfectly fine. So then what you do, you pull this down. You also want to pop her head out from in the middle there, spin it around so that she's actually looking directly, you know, forwards. And what you want to do now is, this part has been tricky for me when I first got it, but it's not anymore. You pull this down, just like that, and then you clip this. You kind of push this up, sort of, and clip, and the spider head is like not visible anymore. And then for the rest of the back, you simply just fold this down and then push that up, and there we have Blackarachnia in her robot mode, or her regular mode. I guess it's just basically called robot mode. Anyway, for articulation-wise, it's a bit more limited than most of the other figures I have, but it doesn't bother me because this figure is spot on to the original for the most part. Her arms can bend into a 90-degree angle, and they can do the same back. They can spin, so can the spider legs right here. That's a bit of a problem sometimes. The legs are very adjustable, so you can like do this however you want. I'm not sure if the tips right here are compatible with blast effects. I think they are, because they're small enough to put like a blast effect on there. And if you haven't seen the original Beast Wars, both Tarantulas and Blackarachnia shot laser blasts out of their spider legs in robot mode. The legs, right about here up at the hip, they spin. The knees, they don't have articulation for rotation, but they can bend pretty well. The feet, they can bend about that farther, I guess. And then they can just go back. They can arch up like that, but they can't really arch that far down. Same with the other side. You can put her in whatever pose you want. I'm technically going to be using this character in my stop motion videos as a maximal, because in the Transformers original Beast Wars, this is spoilers for those of you who haven't seen it. In Beast Wars, she actually becomes a maximal. She was originally supposed to be a maximal, but she was reprogrammed by the Predacons before she got out of stasis. So yeah, one thing I will recommend is that if you have children, do not buy them this toy. I can give you, and I think that reason is obvious, but for those of you who haven't made the reason obvious, who can't see the obvious reason, I'll just point it out. That's the reason why you shouldn't let your kids have this toy. You want your kids to be horny? That's your own decision, but I wouldn't recommend it. But But other than all that aside, this is actually a really good toy. It's not much back cable to deal with, and it's like barely even noticeable from the front. Unfortunately, you are gonna probably have that problem where it does break, but like I've said many times already, it's not really that important. This is actually one of my more favorite Transformers. I don't use it in a lot of my stop motion videos, but that's just mainly because it's hard to transform, and it's hard to animate sometimes. Walking animation is particularly difficult for some Transformers like this because of the way their legs are, and I can't get the office putty to stick very well. But yeah, if I had to rate this Transformer out of 10, it would be about a 9. Mostly because it's a cool toy, but it's hard to stop motion animate with. But that's the only reason why it's a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. If it was easier, it would definitely be a 10 out of 10. But yeah, this toy was probably one of the best ones I bought. It took like about 2 months for it to actually arrive because I pre-ordered it. But I actually was satisfied when I actually got a hold of it. I've heard several people say that they get mad about the whole breaking thing. I don't find that much of a big deal. If this broke, of course, that would be a big deal because I've seen that break on some reviews. But I made sure to be extra careful. But anyway, I definitely recommend you guys get this toy. Well, you older collectors. But yeah, that's gonna be my review for Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy Blackarachnia. Definitely a toy you want to pick up, and it's definitely worth buying for your collection. It's worth the $20 that I spent to get it. But yeah, if you guys had different thoughts on this, write in the comments below because I'm kind of interested in what you guys would think about this. Anyway, like and subscribe, and see you later.